Well, again, excited to have Sue as our speaker today. As we begin our time, let us take a moment of prayer and then let's go on our time together. Loving and gracious God, we thank you for the gift of this day and for bringing us together through the Gen to Gen program. As we gather in community and learning, we open our hearts to your wisdom. Bless our time with Sue Alvey today. May her insights guide us towards acceptance, peace, and contentment in all seasons of life. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I want to turn to Terry or Kyle. I forgot the order.
Kyle.
Kyle, go ahead.
So welcome everyone. As we go through our presentation, I would like to remind everyone to stay muted throughout. There will be time for questions at the end, and during that time, you can raise your hand or use the reactions if you have a question or a response. And Sue and I will be calling you guys out. Just so yeah, take it away, Terry.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm Terry Morrison, and we're so happy to have you here. A couple real quick announcements before I introduce our special guest speaker today. Next Tuesday, which is April 29th, Art Changes Us will be doing a special workshop for us at in the Sequoia Room at LAUMC. And it's been in the e-note, so all the details are there. And we need you to sign up for that. Space is limited. So I just want to bring that to your attention. There's a couple more spaces still available. And Art Changes Us is going to give us this wonderful workshop on cell phones and composing pictures and so forth. And then the second thing to mark your calendars with is on May 16th, we will have our annual Gen to Gen picnic at Cuesta Park. So again, all this will be in the e-note. Well, the Art Changes Us is already in the e-note. And so if you have any specific questions, feel free to email me. But I wanted you to put those 2 dates on your calendar, if you would, please. So today, it's my honor and privilege to introduce Sue Alvey to all of you. She is a licensed professional clinical coordinator with over 30 years of experience working with the aging adults and their families. She has a very broad background, has worked in so many different settings like continuing care, retirement communities, assisted living residences, adult daycare, various community-based agencies such as the Alzheimer's Association. She's done case management, just a huge array of skills and whatnot. She is a licensed or skilled psychotherapist, working mainly just with seniors and their families in the contents of a safe and compassionate therapeutic relationship via online teletherapy, and occasionally home visits. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology from University of Florida, and she has a master's degree in education specializing in mental health counseling. And she works with seniors and their families in a whole array of areas such as grief and loss, anxiety, guilt, depression, end of life issues, and so forth. So covers a lot of territory. Sue and her husband, Tom, facilitate, it's called Talkback. Pastor Dave has Talkback twice a month. And Sue and her husband, Tom, facilitate that. She's been at LAUMC for many years, she and her family, and we're just so happy to have her. And she'll give us more detail about her family and her background. So she today will speak with us on how do I find acceptance and contentment in the midst of aging. So without further ado, Sue, we welcome you and we thank you for your time and your talents.
Thank you, Terry. Everybody can hear me all right? Okay, good. Hi, everybody. Hi, friends. It's so good to see you. Thank you, Pastor Jung, for the beautiful prayer and welcome. And thank you to Kyle for his tech expertise. It's such a comfort to know he's there and I don't have to worry about it. And thank you to Terry. And Terry and I remembered that when I was at Community Services Agency in 1988, her parents, Gil and Eileen, were big fans of CSA and supportive of me. And oh my gosh, that was before I even knew Terry. So it's such a gift to talk to you. You are my friends. You are my family. You are my community. And I have to say that John Lehman actually asked me to do one of those bios for your newsletter. So I guess I'm getting to where I can be part of the gen to gen generation now that I'm 63. So I don't always get to your activities, but I always watch what you're doing. So it's great to see you.
Thanks.
Okay. I am old school. I have notes. I have a pen. I have 3 clocks. So you will see that I got to do the old thing with the notes and stuff. But I'll do my best here. What to expect today? I'm going to screen share, Kyle.
Yes, you are.
Okay, there we go. Everybody see that all right? All right, good. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Ooh, there's my gratitude, my thank you for coming and being here. All right, and I'm gonna minimize this. Right. All right, so what to expect today? Well, first of all, I have to tell you, I'm gonna go back. Okay, I'm not gonna go back. Acceptance, how do I find acceptance and contentment in aging? Wow. Yeah, sure, you say, right, Sue. Yeah, aging, acceptance, contentment, give me a break. Well, I have to confess, I changed the title on my slide to acceptance, contentment, and aging. So I hope you get the subtlety. There's no secret. This is a process. This presentation is for you. I am including years of working with older adults, years of not only being a counselor and therapist, but being in therapy. Stories, experiences. What a blessing to do the work that I do and to be part of people's lives. So much of this comes from this is not a scholarly presentation. I will provide some resources, but not really references. If you want references, send me an email, I can do that, but that's a lot. This is based in research and in my professional experience. So we're going to talk about aging and well-being. And then I'm going to challenge you to look at acceptance and contentment a little differently and ask you to be psychologically flexible. I'm going to offer some time for reflection, and then we will have a conversation and integrate what we've talked about. I invite you to be open. I invite you to be willing to challenge your assumptions about aging, to notice what touches you. not only your thoughts, we really get into thinking, and these lectures can be so much like brainiac stuff. But notice your body, notice your tension, notice relaxation, notice your reactions, notice if the Holy Spirit speaks to you or what God is showing you. Notice any resistance you might feel, and it's totally fine, by the way, to disagree with me and to say to me, that doesn't make any sense, or I don't like that. So I am fine with that. You're welcome to take notes. You're welcome to reflect. So LAUMC, I won't go in great detail. Yes, I raised my kids here. Tom and I were in the Couples Connection in 1988. We were newlyweds. Our kids were born, baptized, confirmed, star-fired, college, not totally launched. She still live at home. But this is Megan. She's 33. She lives at home. She works at Books Inc. in the bookstore. This is Brent. Brent is 30. Brent is actually home and qualified for disability for a neurological condition. But I'm very proud of him. He's come a long way and he's still got great things he's working on. Stephen is, can you see my cursor there? Can you see that? Okay. Stephen is 26. He is in Davis. He graduated from UC Davis, and he's working on a career in quantitative analysis. So he likes spreadsheets and presenting information. So he's also a funny guy. And this is church camp. I will go on. This is the list. I'm not going to read you the list. This is the list of all, I think, most of the stuff I've been involved in since 1988, but it's not comprehensive. So like Faye Haynes, Faye, you took care of my kids and Mom's day out. John Lehman, we taught Sunday school together. This goes like all over. Choir, we sang together. How many of us have walked for Alzheimer's? This is the fall picture from last year. It was my 20th walk to end Alzheimer's. Isn't that mind-boggling? So anyway, so you are part of my family. These are my parents. How did I get into geriatrics? I was in grad school. I was 25 or something. It's like, why geriatrics? Well, my parents were married in 1942, and I was born in 1961. So my dad was already 49. And I grew up on Lawrence Welk and Rodgers and Hammerstein. And, in the 60s, we had all kinds of, I don't know, the story. And my dad retired when I was 15. So I lived with retired people. I went to the lawn bowling club in Florida. So that's why geriatrics. Terry went through my background. I'm not going to go into all the details. The one thing I will say is that I've been in private practice as a psychotherapist since 2018. I didn't do it before because my master's degree was not eligible for a license in California till 2014. And it's a long story, but I'm a LPCC. There are 3 master's level licenses for therapy in California: LCSW, MFT, and now LPCC. So I couldn't even get licensed. And not only do I work with insurance companies, but this year I was eligible to accept Medicare in my practice. So my gosh, that's the whole reason I do what I do. And I'm very grateful. I work from home. Occasionally I come up to Palo Alto, Los Altos area. It's where most of my work was. But this I never thought I could work from home, and this has been lovely. Tom works from home a lot of the time. I can have lunch on my patio. I can go kiss my husband. It works really nice. What else should I tell you? Notes, notes, notes. Okay, therapy. Therapy for older adults. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I will say there's a stigma about psychotherapy. There's a stigma about psychology and aging. Yes, old dogs can learn new tricks. I do work with older adults. There is a lot that folks deal with, but I've seen change and I've seen hope and contentment and acceptance. So I hope this is helpful to you. Okay, old age is not for sissies, right? Old age is hard. Transitions, if you look back, transitions are changes. So like when you're in your 40s, or let's go to your 30s, you have a couple kids, you save money for a house, move up in your job world. Okay, what's that? 4 things, right? Your 40s, okay, your kids might graduate from high school. Your parents might start to, decline. Your 70s, fast forward. You have a heart surgery. Your spouse passes away. Your best friend passes away. You can't drive. You think about moving. 5 years later, you think about moving again. How many things got compressed in that 10 years? How many changes do older people go through? How much grief and loss? Sometimes you all may feel, and I know some people feel like I can't bear another memorial service. People in retirement communities get tired of seeing the paramedics come in and out. But it's part of this reality. And that's what we're going to talk about. You face ageism. I am so proud of Jen to Jen and the Wisdom Generation. After all these years working with you guys, you have awesome programs. Thank you to John. Thank you to Kyle. Thank you to the church for recognizing this. And in the midst of everything else, you're going to die. You don't know when. You don't know how. If you're still married, you don't know who's going first. You don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know if your kids are going to pass before you. It's uncertain. I like to look at aging. I mean, all of life, yes. I like to look at aging as a mobile. I wish I had one, but think of a baby crib mobile, right? It's not just a circle where we're balancing our lives, our bodies, that are changing, our brains that are changing, our spiritual lives, our housing, our social activities, our community, our feelings, our relationships. It's a balancing act. Sometimes one outweighs all the others, right? I mean, how many specialists do you see? How much time do you spend navigating Kaiser or Sutter or whatever healthcare system you work with, Stanford? It gets out of whack, right? And this is where I believe in the whole health perspective on aging. And when I work with folks, we don't just talk about psychology. In adult daycare, you don't work with counseling and psychology. You have parties. You eat healthy food. You exercise. You give your loved ones a break. People come to adult care programs and get better. It's awesome. Think of retirement communities with all their activities. Okay, relationships, performances, chapel services. Be mindful. All I'm saying is kind of notice. Oh man, life's out of whack. I need to go sing. I need to go paint. I need something different to counterbalance this diabetes or whatever. So we've talked about your body. I don't need to go into great detail about the changes in your body. It wears out. That's reality. You know, it's just wearing out, okay? Your mind, normal aging, slows processing, word finding, other stuff. Can't find the keys, get repetitive about stories, and then dementia. We worry about dementia. We don't want to be a burden to our families. We don't want to be a burden to our loved ones. We save money because we don't know how much it's going to cost. Relationships, community. I'm not going to go into great depth, but I do have an article that I love that you may have heard of the gut biome. There's all kinds of research about gut health. Well, there's an article about the social biome. How varied is your social life? How varied are your relationships? Are you a caregiver? Do you have opportunities to share? Are you interdependent with your family? Do you feel like I don't want to be a burden to them, so I'm going to be as independent as possible? Or do you give them the opportunity to care for you while you care for them? Friends. Resilience. I can't see my screen. Okay, resilience. Older adults are resilient. They may have slow processing, but they're intelligent, they're wise, they're problem solvers. And building resilience helps to cope with the changes of aging. So, working with strength and history of survival. Think about, okay, we faced COVID. We faced the Vietnam War. We faced the Cold War. We faced feminist movement. We faced recessions. We faced the Middle East crises, and we have survived. And we can remember that we are survivors. And so this ability to bounce back is innate, but can be nurtured and strengthened at any age. Here's a reflection. This is about relationships. I love this poet. When the world goes mad, become wildly kind to everyone. Everyone. My love, you can't control much, but you control how you treat others. In these breaking news, heartbreaking times when nothing feels certain, let your raw kindness be a certainty. Allow your compassion to become a North Star stamped up in the sky for others to follow back home. Grief. We can't possibly cover all the aspects of grief. Grief is intertwined with aging. Learning to cope with grief is critical. There are wonderful resources. The church, each other, wonderful websites, books. But I will give you one today, and it's a little different than you may have considered before. Instead of Kubler-Ross's linear stages. And by the way, that was 30 years ago. So that's a little outdated. And it used to be, and I don't even remember them, but I think it's like shock, denial, anger, despair, anger, acceptance. I love this model from a book by Joanne Cacciatore, and the book is Bearing the Unbearable. She talks about the expansion and contraction model. She says grief is natural. Grief is organic. It's a process. There's no closure. I imagine some of you feel that way too. There's no closure to grief. You don't get over grief. We journey through grief. Grief ebbs and flows, just like that picture of the double helix. It's up and down. It ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. And sometimes it catches us by surprise. The expansion and contraction model, the metaphor is childbirth. In order to grieve, in order to birth a child, we have to have contraction. We have to close in. We cocoon. We weep. We pray. We're angry at God. Why did this happen? It's not fair. Just take me, God. I want to die. But then there are moments of expansion, a beautiful service, a flower, beautiful music. Expansion. But it's a process. It's a journey. Expansion, contraction. Expansion, contraction. And we must have one to have the other. You can't escape the pain, avoid the pain. We have to go through the pain. Meaning and purpose, life and death. I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm sure you think about life and death all the time. But here's a beautiful, I don't know what you call it, writing excerpt. So I want you to see how this strikes you. From Jill Schmidt. Life is strange. We come with nothing and fight for everything. And in the end, we leave everything and go with nothing. Life is a fleeting journey, a cycle of gaining and letting go. We arrive with empty hands, yet we spend our days chasing, building, and holding on as if we can outrun time itself. We grasp at love, success, and meaning, desperate to make something of the brief moments we're given. And yet, no matter how much we gather, there comes a day when we must release it all. But perhaps the beauty of life is not in what we keep, but in what we give, in the love we share, the kindness we leave behind, and the lives we touch along the way. Okay, let's switch gears. What all this grief and change and old age isn't for sissies? What do you mean radical acceptance? So we'll talk about what is radical acceptance. What exactly are contentment and happiness? How do I cope with emotions and thoughts and facts? What are the benefits of mindfulness? And what am I going to do about it? I am not a fan of psychology or psychotherapy that's all about examining your navel and analysis paralysis. You got to do something. You got to try. You got to change. You got to experiment. And you may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. You were invited here to pivot. I think of a parade of soldiers. And isn't it awesome to watch their synergy as they pivot, their foot movements as they pivot 90 degrees. You can also think of this as a reframe. You can think about this is my assumption. Oops. Sorry. I don't know if I can skip back. Okay, never mind. This is my assumption. You can reframe it from portrait to landscape. Oops, you get the idea. Notice your resistance, let go of control. Speaking of control, I'm watching the clock. I got 10 minutes. All right, we gotta do psychological flexibility in 10 minutes. Radical acceptance. Well, what's the difference? Why is it radical? I think this term was coined by Tara Brach, and she's a meditation leader and psychologist. The idea that is radical is that rather than avoiding or resisting difficult emotions, sensations, or thoughts, we embrace them as part of the human experience. I'm not a big fan of pathology. What's wrong with me? What's my diagnosis? What did I do wrong? How did I get this way? Well, you know what? We all have baggage. We all have skeletons in the closet. It's part of the human experience. If I go to therapy, does it mean I'm broken? I'm flawed? I'm crazy? No. It means you've been through some tough stuff and we'll work on it. We'll learn together. Is acceptance giving up? Nope. It's facing and accepting reality. I'm sorry you might not be able to see this very well, so I'll read it. Radical acceptance is not resignation. It doesn't mean giving up or accepting something you don't like. It means acknowledging reality as it is, even if you don't like it. I don't like that my spouse died. I don't like that we had COVID and we had to isolate. But we did. It's not complacent. It's not passively accepting the situation. It's engaging with reality, doing something about it, taking steps to change your life. It's not agreeing with it. Well, I may not like the political scene right now, but it's there. It is. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It's there. The consummate radical acceptance, the serenity prayer, right? It's like, for me, this is the magic. This is the whole presentation. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Happiness and contentment. I know Pastor Dave is a big fan of Dr. Keltner and his awe work. I like it too. But Dr. Keltner did most of his research before he did the awe work on happiness. And, you see these memes on Facebook, choose happiness. Well, yeah, you're aging, your body's falling apart, you're losing people. Come on, choose happiness. I'm sorry. I think contentment is a little more realistic. Happiness, think about the happiest day of your life. Happiest day of your life. My wedding day. There was the kiss, there was all the family at the reception, there was the beautiful dress, and the air conditioning was off, and it was Florida in August, right? We had communion, the pastor almost spilled grape juice on my dress. Was it happy all day? No. Was it awesome? Was it content? Absolutely. Happiness is moment. Contentment is an internal acceptance and appreciation. I work with a gentleman who's been severely depressed for 20 years. He has a progressive neurological condition. His marriage isn't great. He thought, what are you going to do for me? I'm always going to be depressed. Oh, well, a couple years later, he says, I'm content. I'm content. I've found things that bring me meaning. He's on a Facebook group with people with the same condition. Got a scooter and he rides to the community club and he swims. Well, he doesn't swim, he floats. But it makes him happy. And he sees people. Another one of my favorites. You forgive me, I'm really into this stuff. John Kabat-Zinn, creator of mindfulness-based stress reduction, says, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Okay, let's talk about emotions, thoughts, and facts. This is a quick summary of cognitive behavior therapy. Real quick, thoughts and feelings are not facts. Thoughts ebb and flow, feelings ebb and flow, facts don't change. So suppressing the pain, suppressing the grief, saying, I shouldn't feel sad. I shouldn't think that thing, leads to suffering. What's reality? What are the facts? Ruminating, thinking, problem solving. Actually, the brain doesn't work so well when we're anxious and problem solving. If you relax, you might remember where you put your keys. So here's a little example. Oh boy, I got 4 minutes. All right, okay. You're on your way to the dentist on the freeway. Traffic comes to a complete halt. There's an accident. Your thoughts are immediately thoughts. Oh no, this is a disaster. I'm going to be late. It's going to affect the office schedule. They're going to be mad at me. It's going to ruin my day. I have to reschedule. Emotions. Frustrated, angry, embarrassed, tense, rising pulse, flushed. What are the facts? Traffic has stopped. You're going to be late. Okay, option B. This is obviously simplification. Oh, well, I'm going to be late. Nothing I can do about it. I'm like a sardine trapped in a can. I'll just turn on some music. Feel calm. I took a deep breath, relaxed my body. And the fact is, traffic stopped. You're going to be late. Judgment and compassion. We all have an inner critic, right? Who's your inner critic? I got some parents there, professors. There's the Bible, neighbors, relatives. I love the shitty committee is woulda, coulda, shoulda. I should have done this. I could have done that. That inner critic. I should be doing such and such. I should be coping with this grief. I should be over it. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Compassion is a much more effective approach to emotional healing. Those things are great. Those things are great. Just do it. Well, that's good for exercise. It doesn't work when you're depressed. Compassion is healing. There's no such thing as good, bad, right, wrong, black, white. It's like a stew. Forgiveness, regret. Old age can be full of regret. Mistakes, were they mistakes? or did I do something wrong? Well, okay, do I need to make amends? What am I going to do about it? And I hope that each of you has practices where you meditate, pray, contemplate, participate in rituals, enjoy creativity, music, art, exercise. That goes back to that balancing wheel. Not all about your head, about experiences. If I weren't running out of time, I would lead you through a little bit of a meditation, but I'm going to have to trust you to do that yourself at some point. And I do want you to listen to this poem. Holy peace, settle in the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning and drink this holy peace. Feel relief flood into every cell. Nothing to do, nothing. Nothing to be but what you are already. Nothing to receive but what flows effortlessly from the mystery into form. Nothing to run from or run toward, just this breath. Awareness, knowing itself as embodiment. Just this breath. Awareness, waking up to truth. I'm going to close with action. You know, during COVID, my kids were terrified. And even now they're terrified. And I say, you know, okay, you're going to wring your hands and read the newspaper and get yourself all upset. Or are you going to do something about it? I love Micah 6:8. I love when Starfire sings, what does the Lord require of you? To seek justice and love kindness and walk humbly with our God. Think about it. What's all the navel gazing of our conversation today? What are you going to do? In summary, we talked about well-being and aging, body, mind, resilience, relationships, grief, life, death, meaning and purpose. We did that. Psychological flexibility. We talked about radical acceptance, contentment and happiness, emotions, thoughts, and facts, judgment and compassion, breath, prayer, meditation, creativity, exercise, and action. Yes, there was a secret. I have to tell you, there is a secret to my talk today. I am a big fan of acceptance and commitment therapy, what we call ACT. It's research-based, it's practical, it's values-based, and most of the things I talk today are incorporated in this therapy. So if you're interested, I can tell you more. I want to close with, so many of you sang in Morning Glory and Chancel and New Covenant. I love this. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you. If you would like, you're welcome to kind of go down to that chat box because some of you may ask questions and answers and some of you might not want to. So feel free to put a little comment in the chat if you want to say one word. And then I think we've got about 10 minutes for questions and answers. Thank you for inviting me today. Thank you for your openness and your prayers and your community.
Do you have a slide with their contact info?
Don't.
Put it in the chat.
Oh, right. Good idea. Okay. Chat. So what I will do, that looks interesting. I will have a handout, and I haven't got it ready yet, but I'm going to send it to, I forget who it was, Kyle. I'm sending it to somebody tomorrow who's going to send it out to you guys. Okay, so here we go. To Alvey LPCC, and oops, it is 408 784 8304. It's very easy to find me online. Just look me up on Google. So Sue Alvey LP, oops, cc.com, and then
That's Sue, just to let you know.
okay. Can they see the chat still?
Yeah, they can.
Okay. And it's Sue at SueAlveyLPCC.com. Okay. There. The grief arising from the retirement of Dirk and Carol. Yeah.
So we have one question raised, which is Judith.
Okay. Hi, Judith. We go way back. Oh my gosh. Senior health chat. Adult children of aging parents.
Exactly. I was just going to mention that and want to thank you so much, Sue, for getting me started on the whole path that I have been on ever since I met you, really, thanks to those groups. And, after you all probably remember about Senior New Ways and so on, but I took about a 10-year retirement from that after my husband Lee died. And now at age 78, I am back fast and furious into the fray, teaching, coming fully alive as you age, still at the senior center every term, and writing your legacy stories. So you gave me a wonderful start, Sue. I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you, Judith. Oh, thank you.
Well, Ann Cross left a message in the chat space. I love the contrast. Oh, where is it? Oh, many people
Thank
here.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Anne.
John, go ahead.
Sue, 20 years ago, last December, you came to me and I think you were arranging programs for a group called the Keystone Group.
Oh, holy
And
cow.
you said, we need a Christmas program. And the person who was supposed to do it couldn't do it. Could you do one? And I said, well, what would you like me to do? And I recall you said, well, you have a music hobby, don't you? Why don't you tell these people about your hobby? And I remember, and I agreed, but as I walked away from you, I thought, what a boring presentation that will be. So I researched online before that meeting to find out why it was that I remembered all the lyrics to the songs that were popular when I was a teenager. And I discovered that there's all kinds of neurological and memory research that justifies that. So based on that, I went into that meeting and gave a program on songs, Christmas songs that hadn't been on the radio for more than 50 years to the group in Keystone. And I said, I'm not going to tell you that these are Christmas songs. You already know that. But I want you to tell me who the performer is. And they knew every one within just a few seconds. And that day began a new career for me, which was music and memory, and taking it to care centers and service groups and all kinds of things, and working with Judith on the beginning of Senior New Ways. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Terry.
Sue, you just did a fabulous job.
Thank
I have a question about teletherapy versus in-person therapy.
Yeah.
To me, body language is like really important in communicating with somebody. And so I wondered what you felt about that process.
Well, thank you for asking. That's a perfect question. We didn't think teletherapy had any validity. We thought, it was out there before COVID, but we kind of thought, well, this isn't going to work. We need to be connected. We need to feel each other's, like you said, nonverbal vibes. But we didn't have a choice during COVID. And people needed mental health support during COVID. And insurance companies and Medicare expanded their coverage of telehealth. I started offering telehealth. I thought, oh, well, we'll give this a try. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And as you know, 90% of the people I work with are over 65. Most of them are in their 70s, some are in their 80s, and some are in their 90s. So the tricks are find somebody to help you with the technology. All you need is something that can either do FaceTime or Zoom. Well, look at you. You're on Zoom. You got that one. Here's the good news. You don't have to go to an appointment. You don't have to get in your car. Everybody I see at 8:15 in the morning is not only drinking their coffee, but sometimes in their robes and pajamas. And that's fine. The dogs are there. The people who have trouble getting out can participate. And it works really well. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. It works amazingly well. It's very difficult to find a therapist that works in person these days. It's very difficult to find a therapist, period. But that's my plug. So what I do when I'm starting to work with someone is offer an initial chat on video. And we try it out. And if somebody feels the connection, great. And if they don't, fine. But you don't know until you try. And the connection with the therapist is the #1 predictor of success in therapy. That's my plug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Ann Cross? Ann, you're muted.
I don't see her.
I just wanted to say thank you. You covered so much. I took 2 pages of notes like you. I'm a note taker. So, and I did lots of photographs of the slides because there's a lot of people in my community and myself included, very much so, facing all this. It was just spot on information and the quotes and the one book reference and all that. It's just outstanding, Sue. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and the bottom of my aging heart.
Any other questions or comments?
Anybody not like what I had to say? You want to challenge me? No? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, I'm really grateful for this wonderful, rich resources that we can, continue to digest and learn out of this, the presentation. And you have a deep wisdom for life. I felt that way. So I'm very grateful for that too. I really, I love the concept, the radical acceptance. So radical acceptance, it's very important not only for elderly people or in this life of cycle, but also in kind of general for young people as well. I think I have a question for this. Recently I've been dealing with so many dying congregation in my ministry. some cases are very challenging because the people want to live longer or live well, but when they really in their tender season of life, they are really struggling. We don't want to live our life with pain or suffering. At the same time, life is sacred and also holy. But in this state, we have some other options in case of chronic illness and dying, and there's no way to turn around. Then the other medical kind of support as well. So how can I help our congregants just in case that they want to go with, I mean, acceptance from that perspective, whether they want to go with peaceful ending of their earthly life, or we better encourage to accept the reality and go on. I'm just a little bit confused with this whole heavy topic. So I just want to a little bit learn more, listen to more about your radical acceptance in different levels.
I have worked with people and the end of life, all kinds of things, you know, whether it's a heart condition or dementia or cancer, pneumonia. I will say most of the people I work with or know or met are not afraid of dying. I would imagine, especially Joan, as you work with the people in their Christian faith, there are a lot of questions about God and heaven and that kind of thing. I think it's important to review life and reminisce on life and recognize the legacy we have built. And the radical acceptance is, again, back to that reading, you will die. If you don't die this time, you're going to die another time. That's the radical piece. And the choice is, what are we going to do about it? Can we look at the meaning, the purpose, the gifts we have given others, the gifts they have given us? Can we have faith? And maybe we don't have faith. I'm not judging people, and that's your piece. But the radical acceptance is, how can we be at peace with death?
Thank you so
How
much.
can we look death in the face? You know, sadly, some people's deaths are difficult. Pain, you know, anxiety can come up with some health conditions. You don't feel well, you feel rotten. It's hard to be at peace. But I think we can kind of shift that focus, John. Shift that focus to the legacy, shift that focus to meaning and purpose, relationships. That's what I talk about.
Thanks, Sue.
Is that helpful? Is that helpful?
When I was there for Wally Norum, when he entered hospice care, and then one night when I had a conversation with him, and he just clearly told me that, Pastor John, I mean, I'm ready, and I'm not going to fight against death. So I think I saw his really deep, profound faith and radical acceptance there too. Thanks so much for your wisdom.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Well, thank you. So, go ahead, Suze.
Muted here.
So I would just say that my word is openness, because I think gifts are given to us all the time when we're in bad places. I've kind of been in a bad place with cancer recently. And I would say that might qualify as radical acceptance as well. If you could just encourage people to be open to the gifts that people are trying to give them, that is maybe a way to help. That's all I was going to say.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, beautiful. We can get stuck in our thinking, stuck in our reasoning, and the openness allows freedom, possibilities.
Well, Sue, we feel that we learned a very important, the pricey lesson from you without any payment to you. Well, Terry, maybe we can dismiss our time with the words of blessing that I just prepare for our time. Can I share a final blessing for all of us?
Absolutely.
May we go forward with open hearts, embracing each day with grace, gratitude, growing peace, and here radical acceptance, receiving life as it is, and trusting in the loving presence of God. Amen. Thanks so much, Sue.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. It was a
My
great
pleasure.
presentation. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Happy, healthy, fun weekend. Thank you so much, Sue.